This is the Political Spotlight.
The Political Spotlight is a joke. It's more like a political flop.
Nobody listens to Bilbrey.
He's just a wannabe podcaster. No one takes him seriously.
He is a rude, crude dude that will never go any further than broadcasting from his mother's basement.
Bilbrey is a wrecking ball for Indiana politicians.
Grab another box of Twinkies and generic cola, Bilbrey.
And get back to your microphone and your audience of nobodies.
The Political Spotlight is a joke.
He is like a rude, crude dude that will never go
Bilbrey's a wrecking ball for Indiana politics. Shut that stupid Bilbrey up.
Hello there, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome. I thought it did that weird thing again where the button was screwed up, but I think we're good to go. Man, I don't like when things act all funky. I don't do well with that. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. This is the Political Spotlight. I'm your host, Kristopher H. Bilbrey. I hope you guys are doing well. Paula says it right. Come in, like, and share the show. Down here are all of our wonderful contact informations. Look at this. We've got a really cool Political Spotlight logo here. We've got our phone number, our emails, and all of the wonderful places where you can see the show. I tried to write a joke about the bank, but I lost interest. If you would, please like, subscribe, do all of that. If you're here via YouTube, thank you. You're our favorites. We love you. Followed next by Twitter. Facebook and Rumble are kind of like in a tie. If you're here listening via audio podcasts, thank you, thank you, thank you. If you're here via Facebook, it's great. We love you, and we're happy for you. But YouTube is the place that you want to get. So one of these days, it might not be tonight. It might not be tomorrow. It might not be next month. But one of these days, you're going to have to come over to YouTube where we are all hanging out and have some fun with us over here. So that would be amazing for you. What's Kate doing? Oh, I thought you were laughing. Were you laughing? Oh, no, you were just doing something with your face or something. I don't know what you were doing. That was really weird. It was me. I don't know.
I have a cold.
You always have a cold.
Well, this one's been a doozy.
Yeah, it's been hanging on for 15 years.
I know. It's been wild.
You've had a
so
cold.
I was rubbing my nose.
That's what you were doing. Yes. All right. I know what you're doing. I'm not trying to put you on the spot there. I get it. Well, welcome. I hope you're doing well. I hope you guys are having a wonderful day. It's smelling lovely in here. I've got to be honest. It smells absolutely heavenly. And that's because I am burning a candle. I don't generally burn candles. That's rather gay-like, and I'm just going to tell you, like, I'm not saying that like in a bad way. It's just most normal. I mean, I don't know. I don't know guys that just burn candles, but I am burning a blackberry apple. Oh my God. And it smells heavenly. It's amazing. I gotta be honest. I've been burning it for the last hour, and I have wanted to dip my fingers in it and like lick it. I cannot. I'm telling you, I'm having this overwhelming urge to dip my fingers into the wax and to lick it off, but I've stopped myself. So I have a little bit of willpower. It's amazing. Hello, Charlize. I should send you a wax warmer. I feel like I would burn the house down with that. I feel like I would burn the house down with a wax warmer. And the point of the wax warmer is to not burn the house down. They should be safer than the candles, but I feel like I would go the other way with that, and it would be way dangerous. So, hey, I burn candles every day, all day, and I'm not gay. Alva. Yeah, I know. More likely to burn the house down with candles. Absolutely. Yeah. What kind of candles do you burn, Alva? I'm interested in what kind of candles you burn. I've got a lot of candles. I just normally don't burn them. I don't know why. I don't know why I have them. It's very strange. But look, let me tell you, you didn't come here to talk about candles. Let's talk about that. That is not why you are here. You are here to talk about. Hey, Lucy Brenton, look at that. Finally catches us live. Now, she's on Facebook and not YouTube, but we'll forgive her for that. Welcome, Lucy. I hope you're doing well. I hope everything's going well in your neck of the woods and everything's moving along wonderfully. I hope everything's going well for all of you guys. I hope you're having a good day. I had a good day. I want to show you something. I want to show you something. Hello there, Larry. Larry. So, every couple of months, I go with my grandparents to CIO here, Central Indiana Orthopedic. And my grandpa has back. You all remember this. Back 3 years ago, my grandpa had shoulder surgery. And then 1 year later, on election day, he has surgery again. Remember? 2 years ago, he had surgery again. And because his shoulder had popped out, the one that he had the surgery on, it had popped out. And so he had to have it again. And it lasted like all day on election day. And it was total insanity. Well, his other shoulder's bad, and we've got to the point where I don't know that we're going to have surgery on it. But so every couple of months, the doctor gives him a cortisone shot. Cortisone, it is what it is. It's not the best, but it helps. And shut up, Ray. So we went there and he got his cortisone shot, and the cortisone did, it does what it does. But in passing, just in passing, I say to the doctor, hey, yeah, oh yeah, I want you to look at this place on his arm where last Thursday, he was out in the yard working, and he's doing some stuff in the yard, and he gets a limb down and he yanks this limb, and this limb jams right into his arm, in such a way that it made a spot. And I'm going to let you know that this is not for the faint of heart. This is a little queasy. And for those of you out there, you'll know what I mean. When you're going, this is the best way I describe it. When you're on the country roads and you're driving and you're really hilly and you go up and it gives you that feeling in your stomach and it kind of tickles your butthole. You know what I'm talking about? That's what this picture does. It tickles your butthole. So prepare for me and my grandfather to tickle your butthole. My grandfather and I are getting ready to tickle your butthole, okay? Look at this, all right? This is wild. This is crazy, all right? Look at this. Look at this, Catherine. Look at this hole in his arm. See the muscle there? Let's look at this again. Right here. You see that's down to the muscle. Oh my God. That picture right there. Oh God. That's the part that tickles your butthole. Oh God. And he's like, yeah, that don't hurt. Everything's fine. I'm all right. Just put a Band-Aid on it. Oh God. So listen to this. We're just like in passing. He like wanted to go back and get to doing work and putting, I don't know, snaking drains and things. And the doctor said, yeah, no, we need to close that up. We need to clean that out and get wound care. So we are going tomorrow at 11. And the doctor is going to give him a little bit of a little sedation, maybe. And they're going to clean that out really well and give him some closure and some wound care, and we're going to get that cleared up. So that's what I've been doing today. But that is it's just different people. Larry said, I thought it was going to be way worse. Yeah. Listen, here's the thing. Everybody's talking about honey. Yeah, I've heard that. I've heard that a couple people said that. Lucy said that. Catherine said that, and Catherine's a doctor, so that honey might be a thing. So no, we are getting him treated, and so yeah, thanks for the thoughts and the prayers for that. We're gonna be doing that tomorrow. I might get some of those from you after we get it taken care of tomorrow, Catherine. I'd like to maybe. I've never heard of that, so that's interesting. But so they've been dealing with that, and while I was liquid bandages, yeah, I'm sure he would enjoy that. Some gummies. So, well, I tell you the only reason, Catherine, I didn't is because he already had his appointment with the doctor today. And he absolutely loves Dr. Waterman. That's his doctor at CIO. And I don't know if any of you over there, if any of you have ever talked to Scott Waterman. I gotta tell you, this is like endorsement 1000%. Dr. Scott Waterman is amazing, amazing human being. Served our country, was a surgeon, a medical surgeon in the military for 13 years, and has just amazing bedside manner and is great with the patients, and a very, 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 very good medical professional. And so, yeah, very good. So we got to deal with that a little bit tomorrow. But in between taking care of this with my, because the appointment today was supposed to be like in and out, a quick shot, and that was it. But it ended up stretching out longer. And I started getting a bunch of phone calls. And I was getting a bunch of messages and phone calls, people calling about last night's show. And I'm going to tell you, if you did not listen to last night's show, or if you started listening to last night's show, but you didn't get all the way through it, or you didn't listen to the recording. All right. I don't often tell people this. Like, if you miss a show, you miss a show, whatever, you don't need to know. You don't need last night's show to hear tonight's show. You can listen to them out of order, whatever. But there are certain shows that I say you need to go back and listen to, and you probably need to listen to all of it. Last night's show is one of those shows you probably need to listen to the entirety of. I have actually been seeing people making lives and making other content and saying, hey, you need to go listen to last night's show. You need to go listen to last night's show. You need to go listen to the raw recording. And I did get the raw recording up. I told you guys I might get it up after the show, or might be in the next day or two. I actually felt that it was important enough that I worked on it until 4 o'clock this morning. I worked on it until 4 o'clock this morning, had to be up early to go to the doctor with my grandparents, but I felt that it was important, and I got the show, I got it up, and I got the raw recording out. So when you go to our Facebook page, Kate put it there on the screen. She's put it there in the chats. Okay. I will, when this show is over, I will put a link to both episode 678 and the raw recording. I'll put both links in the description of this episode. Because I think that you need to go back and listen to it. Last night's show was a good show. I did a better job at hurdling the cat that is Dr. Catherine Callahan. Hurdled her into like one direction. And we talked about the big topic for the majority of the show. We do still have to get together at some point coming up before the next park board meeting, and we need to talk about the situation with the park board over there. And we will do that. But last night was all about yesterday's absolutely asinine kangaroo court clown show of the 5th GOP district committee, chaired by Darren Reese, Vice Chair Kelly Hewer, Treasurer Mario Massimilli, or whatever you want to call him. Messamilli. Mess. I want to try to work mess into it. Anyways, and Jessica Piper as the secretary. And it was a ridiculous showing. It was ridiculous. It was a violation in a lot of places of due process. It was just a perfect example of the people that believe they are in charge, deciding the game, writing the rules to the game, playing the game, changing the game in the middle of the game, and setting it up to where they are the winners no matter what. Now, ultimately, we are the winners. And I say this frequently. There are really only two options and outcomes to what goes on in government. There's option one, where they do the right thing. They do what we want them to. They do what they're supposed to do. And listen, I'm going to be honest. What they're supposed to do is not always something that I want. They're just supposed to be doing the right thing. Sometimes I might be in the wrong on things, and I'm okay with that. But they're supposed to be doing what's right for the majority of the citizenry. Not themselves, not their political career, not their friends, not a few select people, not the higher-ups, but the majority of the citizenry. And that's what they're supposed to be doing. And if they do the right thing, we win. That would be fantastic. I would love it. And we would win. And that would be great. If they don't do the right thing and they cheat and they lie and they steal the hopes and dreams away from people out here working hard to do right, and they steal votes away from voters, young, old, black, white, men, women, every which way. They steal the votes. They steal people's confidence. They break the public trust. If they do that, we win, because we are able to show you that this is happening. We point this out. It brings larger audiences to the shows. It gets the word out. It spreads the message. And we win. It gives Catherine a platform. It gives me a platform. It gives you guys a platform. Hello, Howard County Observer. I hope you're doing well up there, brother. It's been a minute since we've seen you. I hope you're doing well. There's a politician from up there in your neck of the woods that's been watching here the last couple of days. He was on last night. And for the life of me, I think his name starts Matthew. I think it's Matthew or something like that. I can't recall specifically what his name is off the top of my brain. But yeah, anyways, he seems like a cool dude, Matthew or something, but I'll have to figure that out and let you know. Anyways, that he actually made me think of you because he's been here watching and saying, I'm running for something up in your neck of the woods. And I was like, oh, that's interesting. But yeah, so if they do right, it's good for us. If they do wrong, it's bad for the public. It's bad for us, but it ultimately is good because it allows us. Nothing they can do shuts us up. Nothing they can do stops us from using our First Amendment right. That's something I will fight for forever. That is a hill to die on. It is a fight worth having. And hello, Don. Welcome. The show was good last night, and I want people to watch it. And I got calls today, and 90% of the calls were people who were supportive, people who were like, ooh, yeah, what they're doing over there is not good. What they did to you was not good. And what they're doing to Catherine and to Nicole and to Larry, and just what they're doing is not good. And most of the people liked the show and got it. 10% were different callers. And of the 10%, we'll break those down. Like 5% were people who maybe they don't like Catherine, or they don't like Nicole, or they don't like Catherine and Nicole, or they don't like Larry, or they don't like Catherine, Nicole, and Larry. But these people said, we don't like these people per se, but we're not okay with what they did. And that's what one of these people that made a little clip about our show that told people, and I love it. I love when people tell you, when people other than me and Kate and Catherine or Brandon, anybody else, I love when other people tell people to watch the show. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. I think it's wonderful. That's what we need, help spread the message. And one person specifically said, look, I didn't even vote. This person was from Madison County and said, I didn't vote for all the people that were on the chopping block yesterday. There were 3 people, Catherine, Nicole, and Larry. And this person said, I didn't vote. I voted for some of them, but I didn't vote for all of them. But I don't agree with what they were doing. It was outrageous. It's egregious. It's bad. So there's those people. But then there's 5% of people who don't like Catherine, don't like Larry, don't like Nicole, don't like any combination of them. And they think that we're making a big stink about this, and this is nonsensical, and we shouldn't be saying anything about this. And, Jessica's a good person. Darren's a good person. Mario's a good person. Kelly's a good person. Okay. And how dare any of us speak ill of these people? Or they just don't get it. And they don't like Catherine. They don't like Nicole. They don't like Larry. They don't like me. And they don't like that we speak out about these people. And I get so frustrated at having to say repeatedly to adult humans that doesn't hurt anybody's feeling. We're all okay with that. You don't have to like me. Listen to me. I have my family. I have the people that I love. I have good friends in my life. I have people that support me and people that I support, people that lean on me, people that I lean on. I have all of those people in my life. I don't need more friends. If no one else ever again says, I want to be your friend, I will be perfectly happy. Now, if I gather 10, 15, 100, 5,000, 10,000 new friends, I will be a happy person. But I don't need new friends. I don't need you to like me. I don't need you to agree with me. I don't care. I don't think that Catherine does. I don't think that Nicole does. You should be that way. And I'm talking directly to you. You should be that same way. You should live your life in such a way that you are comfortable with the people in your life and around your life. And if someone agrees or disagrees with you, that's right. That's right, Linda. If someone agrees with you, cool. If someone disagrees with you, cool. I like to disagree and to debate and argue and have some fun doing it, that's fun for me. And it should be something that we can get into and have debate and still be respectful, or maybe even be mad at each other and understand, hey, that's okay. It's okay. We don't have to get along. We don't have to like each other. There was one person that called me and I had a conversation and I was just so disappointed. Here's the thing. I want to say this to you. I am okay for you to call and to disagree with any point that I make. You can call, and anybody that I have on the show, you can disagree with any point those people make. I'm only responsible for my own words and my own actions. I'm not responsible for anyone else's words or actions, okay? If I have somebody on the show and they go on to do great things, those great things were not necessarily as a result of me. If I have someone on the show and they go on to become a mass murderer or a child molester, that's not my responsibility either. We've had that. But if you are going to call me and tell me that I shouldn't do a show like we did last night, that I shouldn't give a platform to someone like Catherine or someone like Nicole or someone like Larry or a platform to my own thoughts about this, because I'm personal friends with Mario, or I'm good friends with Jessica, or I'm good friends with Darren, and these people are good people. Look, they might be good people. They might be good people to you. I don't care if they're good people or bad people or whatever. I care if they're good at the job that they're supposed to be doing. That's all I care about. I don't care about them personally. I don't think about them personally. Their personal lives outside of politics mean nothing to me. They mean nothing to me. That's right, Admiral. Absolutely. We do what we do here. We do what we do because it's right. Listen, take Catherine out of this equation. Take me out of the equation. Take Darren, Kelly, Mario, and Jessica out of the equation. If you read a newspaper article of a committee that is going to have a hearing to decide if somebody is good or bad, and bad standing, good standing, and the complaint is that people are making Facebook posts and are talking on Facebook about political figures, and they call these people defendants. They're not defendants. Defendant is a name that you give someone that is accused of a crime criminally and is charged and is going to appear before the judge. This might be someone that you dislike, or someone that you're going to throw out, or a fellow Republican. You can call them anything. But to call these people defendants, first of all, to me, that's repugnant. That's something that these people should apologize for. We weren't defendants. We were the respondents. Absolutely. Absolutely. That's exactly correct. Nicole, that's perfect. We can use the civil jargon in this because this was not criminal. No one was charged with anything. There was no prosecutor. There were no judges. It was not even a regular committee hearing. It was a kangaroo court. But if you look at what happened and you take all of the names out of it and you just read the story of all of these Tom, Dick, and Harry, and Joe, and Jen, and Ben, and, Tom, and Bean, and Robert, and Dwayne, and John, all these people, we just make up names. Nobody in their right mind should be okay with what happened. And if you are someone who is a freedom-loving, American-loving, constitutional-loving, God-fearing person, maybe you don't believe in God, that's your deal. Wherever you are on your path in life, but if you are a person who believes in freedom in America, and you can say that what happened yesterday was a good thing, then you are a liar, because you don't love America, you don't love freedom, you don't respect the Constitution, you don't respect the process. Because if you can say, simply because you don't like Catherine, You don't like Kristopher Bilbrey. You don't like Larry Savage. You don't like Nicole. You don't like, it could be Audie Barber. You don't like Kate. You don't like Amanda Ballinger. You don't like Stumblefoot. You don't like Bocephus. Whoever it is, if you don't like the person and you're okay with this person getting screwed over because you just simply don't like them as a person, or you don't like them politically, you are what's broken. You're more broken than the system. You're why the system is broken. And so, when was it? It was just last week that I had that. It was about the cop that pulled over the girl that didn't have a hand, and he just couldn't let that go. He couldn't get past the fact that, her hand had been lost in some kind of medical deal or some kind of freak accident, something. She didn't have a right hand, and he couldn't let it go. And I posted about it and said, this is something that needs to be trained. And I had the retired cop from Randolph County come after me and be like, this is wrong, blah, 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 because I wasn't backing the blue hard enough, because I wasn't licking the boots, enough. My tongue wasn't long enough. The boots weren't wet enough, or whatever was going on. And I said, look, you're making my point for me. Okay. And I said, we've got a problem. We're in a position where we've got a lot of problems happening. You're hearing every day of this cop getting arrested, this cop getting fired, something happening here. This fireman's molesting somebody. This fireman's beating up his girlfriend. This politician's doing this. This politician's doing this. Ray just tagged me in something. Ray literally just tagged me right as the show was starting, I think. Ray tagged me in this. Listen to this. This is crazy. Okay? I want to read this to you. Former NBA player files lawsuit against Zionsville town council member for allegedly pressuring his grandmother to sign over her property. 1 week before her death, while in a hospital, Carolyn Pennington signed a deed for her property to her neighbors, John and Sarah Sampson, for $750,000. A former NBA player has filed a lawsuit after he claims his grandmother with dementia was pressured into signing over her property and estate to a Zionsville town councilor. On June 1st, 2026, Josh McRoberts, whose 11-year NBA career included time with the Indiana Pacers, Miami Heat, Dallas Mavericks, Portland Trailblazers, Los Angeles Lakers, Orlando Magic, and Charlotte Bobcats, filed a lawsuit through the Boone County courts. According to the claim, McRoberts' grandmother, 85-year-old Carolyn Pennington, signed a will and restated her trust, power of attorney, healthcare representatives, and funeral planning declaration on June 18th, 2025, less than a year before her death. McRoberts is listed as the appointed successor and trustee upon Pennington's incapacity or death, according to the 2025 document. 1 week before her death, while in hospital, court documents say Carolyn signed a deed for her property to the Sampsons for $750,000. The town of Zionsville sent 13 News the following response when asked about the case. The town of Zionsville is aware of the allegations. The allegations referenced in a private civil matter and are not related to town business or town operations. We have no further comment at this time. It's a desired property, blah, 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 blah. But this is not related to the town of Zionsville, but this is a town council member. You're talking about something that's absolutely gross. I'm telling you what, I make a lot of claims on here and say, I don't mean that. That's figuratively speaking. Let me tell you something. Do something like that to a family member of mine. And we're not talking no show. I'm talking, we are at DEFCON 0 at that point. Okay. We are talking about scorched earth, burning you down in the property and everything with it. Whatever I got to do, I'm going to do. Okay. But the point of the matter is,
how many people in that town will tell you, "Oh, he's a good person"?
Yeah.
Every fucking time. I am to the point where if someone tells me someone's a good person, I'm not going to vote for them anymore. Because these good people are the ones who sit there and they'll vote in a data center, they'll vote in the solar, they'll vote in the wind, they'll vote in whatever they can. Why?
Yeah.
Because that's the easy way. If we increase revenue, we don't have to do our damn jobs.
Well, it's normally because it's a benefit to them. They get something out of it.
And there's probably some benefit to them, but just from the government side of things, if we increase revenue, we don't actually have to watch what we're spending. We don't have to be careful. We don't have to budget. We'll just take more money from the people. That's what these good people do.
That's what the good people do.
And the only thing you can tell me about them, well, they're a good person. How are they a good person? Do they go out and do things? Where are they helping their neighbors?
Yeah.
Because the good people, the really good people, I never know what they're doing.
Yes.
With other people. Because they're not trying to make a show about it. They're doing it out of the kindness of their heart because they know it's the right thing to do. If you need help and I'm in a position to help you and I don't, that's on me. That's a sin on me.
Yep.
But if I help you and have to go around and announce to everybody that I did it,
look,
I am not a good person.
Showboater, or definitely you might have done a good deed, but it's like, you know,
I'm still getting something out of it, and it's bullshit.
Yeah,
you're not a good person. I'm tired of hearing about good people.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I hear it. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's really, really crazy. How much you hear this. You say, oh, they smile at church, or they always give the money in the offering plate, and it's just, it's, that's good and all, but are you there for the right purpose? And then here, just 1 o'clock today, posted at 1 o'clock today, Indiana sheriff charged with stealing campaign signs in Jennings County. A grand jury has indicted the sheriff of Jennings County after an Indiana State Police investigation involving GPS trackers found the sheriff had allegedly stolen campaign signs. William K. Kinney Freeman Jr. was indicted last week on charges of theft, official misconduct, obstruction of justice, and perjury. Freeman, a 60-year-old from North Vernon, currently serves as the Jennings County Sheriff. Police officials confirmed that an arrest warrant was served Monday morning when Freeman turned himself in at the Ripley County Jail. He was later released on his own recognizance, according to the Indiana State Police, of course. Indiana State Police said the arrest comes after a 6-month investigation that began in November of 2025 following a candidate for Jennings County Sheriff who reported that his campaign signs had been stolen from local roadways. The candidate told the police he had bought GPS locator devices and put one on a campaign sign. When the sign was subsequently stolen, the device allegedly led straight to a dumpster on Freeman's property in North Vernon. State troopers reportedly went to Freeman's home and found both the sign and the GPS tracker inside the dumpster. Police also found other campaign signs on the property, including one for a Jennings County judge candidate who had also reported having signs stolen. Soon after the signs were found at Freeman's house, the sheriff allegedly issued a complaint and summons tickets to both political candidates for illegal sign placement. Once troopers concluded their investigation, protocol called for a special prosecutor and a judge, given the situation involved a current sheriff. Prosecuting attorneys from Dearborn, Ohio, and Ohio counties were selected, as well as Ripley County Superior Court Judge Jeffrey Sharp. The case was then presented last Thursday to a Jennings County grand jury, which reviewed the evidence and indicted Freeman on the following charges: theft, a Class A misdemeanor, 2 counts; official misconduct, a level 6 felony; obstruction of justice, a level 6 felony; and perjury, a level 6 felony. Freeman was booked Monday morning into the Ripley County Jail after turning himself in, while Indiana State Police has said Freeman was later released on his own recognizance. Ripley County officials have not provided any bond information. State Police Sergeant Stephen Wheels stated that Freeman was waived his right to have an initial hearing in court and that a pre-trial hearing will be scheduled for a later date. It's currently unclear what the arrest and charges will mean for Freeman's status as sheriff. Fox 59, CBS 4 have reached out to Jennings County officials for clarification on Freeman's future in local law enforcement and have yet to hear back as of this article's publication. Now, first of all, I will tell you, he can serve. First off, he is innocent until proven guilty, like all other defendants. So nothing happens, or nothing will more than likely happen, until he either pleads guilty or is found guilty. If he pleads guilty or is found guilty of a felony, he cannot serve as a police officer and he cannot serve as an elected official. So that will be the end of him. But up until he is found guilty or pleads guilty, he has a right to serve. They can't suspend him. No one's above him. He's just like every other elected official. So I don't know what's going to happen there, but how ridiculous. Signs. How juvenile. Signs. We're talking about stealing campaign signs, then getting caught and issuing citations to the victims saying, well, you placed these on my property or some other's property and they were thrown away because that wasn't right. Here's a citation for you. But that's what all this is.
There's a problem when so many signs are disappearing that people are putting GPS trackers on their signs.
Yeah.
Come on. That's insane.
It is. It's truly crazy. And how many sheriffs does I'm talking I don't. Catherine says sheriffs. Catherine counts all deputies as sheriffs. They're deputy sheriffs. You only have one sheriff. But I'm saying, how many elected sheriffs in Indiana have been arrested or accused of committing a crime or something like that in the last year and a half, 2 years? You know, it's crazy. We're hearing about this shit everywhere on a daily basis. And it's like what happened yesterday. We were sitting in there talking about Facebook posts. They were telling a United States veteran that we're afraid of you. We're afraid that you might be screwed up in the head and you got PTSD, so you might come in and blow us all away. Hey! Darius Nefarious. I love it. I'm glad you're here, bro. I need to send you a message. I'd like to have you come on sometime, and I'd like to chat with you about what you do. I love what you do. I'm going to shoot you a message, and I want to talk to you. Maybe I can give you a phone call tomorrow. I would love to talk to you, brother. I love what you do. I think it's fantastic. And I've been following what you do for a very long time. And I love what you do, and that's awesome. I'm glad that you stopped in to say, hey, I'll shoot you my number tomorrow, and you can call me at your convenience. I think that's fantastic. Much love, brother. You're doing great stuff. I love it. So I tell you what, let's do this. Let's take a break really quick. And when we come back, we will continue this going. Obviously, you guys know What that means, it doesn't mean anything. Just sit tight. We'll be right back, and we'll continue this conversation. All right, we're back. See, that was quick. It was like we didn't even go anywhere. All right. Hey, so we're talking about this childishness, and it's crazy. It's crazy how serious the childishness can get. Okay? Because of this childish bullcrap, they are literally, Nicole, love her, hate her, know her, don't know her, whatever the deal is. She was a candidate for 2 offices. She was a candidate for Madison County Council District 2 in Madison County. We're in Delaware County. She's in Madison County. And she was a candidate for state delegate. She lost her Madison County Council 2 race, and she won the delegate race. That means voters of Madison County went to the polls and they voted her in above other people. They wanted her to win. They wanted her to win above other people. And because Mikhail Vaughn and Kelly Hewer and a couple of other people don't like her and don't like what she says or does or stands for, they are going to come up with whatever it takes to remove her from the delegate position. And they did that. They did it yesterday. They did it on a Sunday. Okay? And we're just supposed to say, oh, that's okay. We're okay with that. We don't have any issues. Yeah, it should be illegal. We're supposed to say, that's perfectly fine. We're happy with that. Why should people go vote? If you can go vote and then some idiots on a Sunday can go and change what you voted in, then no wonder we have such low voter turnout. That's a great question, Kate. How do party rules supersede the Constitution? That's a really good question that I don't think anybody has an answer for. Now, I'm going down here to these vote turnouts. Give me 1 second here in Madison County. And I'm okay. Which district were you in? Okay, I've got you right here. I see it. I'm going to put this up on the screen so you guys can see it. Chloe says our bylaws supersede the Constitution. That's that is nuts. Coming from the mouth of a woman who considers herself to be the end all be all politically and whose husband is a state representative, for her to not have any more common sense about that. It's crazy to me. Absolutely crazy. Give me a second. I'm putting this up here on the screen. Okay. Here we go. Let's take a look at this. Okay. We've got Republican State Convention Delegate District 2. Vote for the top 8 people. Okay. 8 people out of how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So there are 11 people in this district, and they can take the top 8. So let's see here. 1,000. Okay, so Kyle Pierce is the top vote getter. That's 1. So next down from, okay, the next one is Kevin Sulk. All right. 3. Okay. The next one is then, okay, so Nicole was 3rd. Nicole was in 3rd place. She wasn't even like 8th person. Nicole was only beat by Kevin Sack, or whatever that dude's name is, and Kyle Pierce. Okay. That's amazing. And first of all, Nicole should be proud of that. Second of all, that means these clowns, these asshats, they are stealing this election away from the voters. Now, people are like, well, it's just delegate. It's one day. You're making a big stink out of this. Yes, because if we don't make a big stink out of things like this, when they do crap like this now, we won't be able to make a big stink out of it when they do a bigger thing next time. That's the whole thing. I recently stood in front of the Muncie City Council and I talked to them about the open door violation that I filed back last October. A couple of other people filed them too. And it took a long time, but the public access counselor finally ruled in our favor at the beginning of May. So I took it to the Muncie City Council, and before I went in there, I let them know I was coming in there. I let them know that I was going to put this on the record because I wanted to be able to talk with them first, and for them to not feel like mad or whatever. So I wanted them to be able to talk, and they shouldn't have been, but you got to treat these people with kid gloves, which is ridiculous. So I approached them and emailed them, and a lot of them communicated with me, and I appreciate that. A lot of them were like, hey, we messed up. It was our fault. We should have done X, Y, or Z, and we will govern ourselves accordingly for next time. And I was like, that's all I want to hear. Because if you don't call them out for this, okay, if you don't do that, then when a bigger issue happens, you're not going to be able to call them out, and people will find, less likely. It's like that. And I keep jumping to all of these things to bring in my point, but this just shows you. It's like that Reckless Ben deal with the Legos. Okay. Reckless Ben, and for those of you that have watched it, you know what I'm talking about. For those of you that haven't watched it, first of all, I don't know where you've been or how you've been alive. If you've been on the internet and you don't know about Reckless Ben and this Lego deal, I question where you've been in your life. But this YouTuber is attempting to help this guy get back his family's this massive collection worth money. Whether it's $200,000 or $100,000, whatever, it is worth a large, substantial amount of money. And at least up until this point, it has been stolen. And so Reckless Ben is trying to help this guy get his Legos back. And he starts to talk to the cops, and he tells the cops the story. And the story seems so far-fetched that it's like, okay, the cops are not buying this because it sounds so crazy. So they just treat Ben like he's an asshole. He's lying, and they put him in handcuffs. They do all of this. They search his car. They tell him, hey, we got a tip that you had heroin on you. Just a whole bunch of lies. They violated this kid's rights up and down. Everybody this kid hangs out with, they violated all of his friends' rights and done a whole bunch of crazy shit. They went and served a search warrant on his house, going up with AR-15s, and it was overkill. That's the situation here. When the city council does a quick little open door thing, and I fight them, and I have to go up against them, and it takes almost a year to prove it, but we finally, the public access counselor ruled in my favor. I have to do that because once they do something big, when they do something big, yet again in the future, if I don't have these little victories to take and say, hey, look, they've have a history of doing bad things, it's going to be hard to get somebody to believe. It's already hard to get people to believe what's going on. It's already hard to get people to buy into the craziness.
Well, just take it into a regular workplace, Kristopher.
Okay.
Okay, so you got this guy. He's been working for you for a couple of years. Okay.
Yeah.
And he just one day just like ghosts you.
Yeah.
Doesn't call in, doesn't show up.
Yeah.
How do you, whatever crazy thing it is that happens, how do you fire him? Now, Indiana, I know, take out the, right to work bullshit, whatever.
Yeah.
In a normal workplace, how do you fire somebody?
Well, what you would want to do, what I would want to do, what people should do is you would write people up and you would build a case. You would build your, this person did this. I had a talk with them. They got a verbal, 3 weeks later, they got their first written, they got their second written, they got their third written, and now we're to termination.
Right.
Absolutely.
And we have to look at elected officials as being hired employees. They're hired through the voting process, but they're hired to do a job and paid to do that job. And so we create a paper trail. Their counseling packet in Army terms. And there comes a point where you can finally put them in for,
That's a great analogy. I'll take it a step further, and I'm not making light of this, anybody. I'm not making fun of this. I'm not laughing about this. I'll take it a step further. It's not like we're employers. It's like we are battered wives.
Oh, I've heard that too.
And the political people are the abusive husbands. And a lot of times, I'm a former cop, and I know that a lot of times a cop will get called to a house 5, 6, 10, 15 times before the woman actually leaves, or before, God forbid, she gets killed. Because the guy doesn't kill the first time, or she doesn't leave the first time. It's after all of this. And what happens is cops will always say, look, even if you're not prepared to leave, you got to make a paper trail, because when you do leave, or when you are ready to ask for charges to be filed, or when you're ready and you want charges to be filed, the state can always decide to file them. But, if you're not doing that, and you don't want that done, you don't want him arrested, you got to make a paper trail.
Mm-hmm.
And the paper trail is important, because one of these days it's going to be big enough, and we're going to have to say, aha, you violated my rights. You've done this. You've done that. And we have to have that paper trail in.
Yeah. So whether you want to look at it from a law enforcement perspective of the battered spouse, or an employee that we have hired, in either case, you have to build your case to fire them or get your protective order. Whatever it is you're trying to do, you have to build that paper trail. And so if we don't point out everything that we're seeing that's wrong, then we're not doing our due diligence.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm sorry I interrupted you.
No. That's great. That's great. I want to pause here really quickly to answer, and thank you, Darius. That is, and I'm telling you again, and I hate to break this real quick, but you've been doing some backstories on some old Muncie stuff. I would really love you to deep dive some of the old stuff, like when old former mayor James Carey was arrested when he was a sheriff. He's been arrested for the FBI. When he was chief of police, he was arrested. He got indicted by the FBI. He got out of it. When he was sheriff, he got indicted, and he got out of it. And then he still became mayor. There is some good old-fashioned in the 50s and 60s stories that would be fantastic for your show. I can't wait to talk to you off air, and then talk to you. And, I would love to do, have you on and give you some ideas, because I would love to hear your take on some of that stuff. Yes, Veronica, absolutely. Non-custodial parents taking notes about custodial parents showing it in court. Yeah. Maggie, I want to answer that. That's a good question. Thank you for popping in. Good evening. Checking in to see if there's anything has come of Sergeant Burns and the other officer in Henry County. And what Maggie, I'm going to put a pin in this for 1 second and answer her question. What she is referring to is the situation in Henry County where the two deputies have been, two sergeants, deputy sheriffs, they're both sergeants, have been put on leave because of the fact that they were in a form. There was ghost employment. Basically, what they were doing is they were putting in for Operation Pullover grant time. And basically, they were saying that they were working it, and they were using the flock cameras to help them do some crazy things and write warnings and things like that based off of this flock. But in fact, they weren't actually doing anything. They weren't leaving. And this is what people that are against the flock cameras, this is one of those things that people talk about, and so this is something that we really need to look at. But that's what she's talking about. I will tell you this, Maggie. I am going to do a show on that coming up in a couple of days, maybe towards the end of maybe to the end of the week or first of next. Just depends on a couple things I'm working on. I appreciate that you're here, Maggie, on YouTube. I don't know if you have Facebook. If you are here on Facebook, if you have Facebook, send me a message. If you want to send me a private message on Facebook, and then I can send you a link when we're going to talk about it. That way, you'll know, or you can keep popping in. That's good too. And tune in. I'm pretty good about letting people know in Henry County when I'm going to talk about Henry County stuff, because I know you guys really care. But I will keep you posted. You're more than welcome to send me a Facebook connection, DM or friend request, something. Now, I think I'm to the top of my friends list, but you can still follow, and I can connect with you and let you know. But we will be talking about that again here. So I'll give you a follow, so I'll get more channel updates and love notifications. Yes. If please subscribe here on YouTube, and do that on YouTube, and click the bell and do all of that stuff. But then if on Facebook, send me a thing too. So yeah, absolutely, that's fantastic. And no, I just know a lot about the law. I have an ex-husband who I had to know the laws for, and still trying to get some laws changed. Yeah, Veronica, that's amazing. And if there's anything we can do to help, maybe put you in contact with state representatives, whatever, that would be great. FYI, flock cameras hold about 2 pounds of copper and almost 1 ounce of gold. Do what you want. Do what you want with this information. Govern yourselves accordingly. Listen, we've been all over the place. I've been all over the place to show you that there are some serious issues. There are serious problems everywhere. And this fight is big. And I'm going to tell you, I talk to people, every time I get into a big ordeal. When I say get into a big ordeal, like I consider the Sproles Henry County thing to be one specific incident. And that is back during 2020, a couple people that I know and respect and care about asked me to look into things going on in Henry County. And I started doing that. And then Sproles came along and all the stuff came along. And it's like one chapter. And there's always people that come along for the ride. And they're like, ooh, we're going to get active. We're going to be involved. And a lot of those people fall off after a while because there's not enough drama to keep them going. There truly is if they would just pay attention. But they don't like the hard work or the politics behind it. But you always get some people. I will give you a follow too, bro. We don't do a lot on TikTok. I try to do some things every now and then, but we're really active on Facebook, Twitter, and here on YouTube. But I think I've already subscribed to your Dark Side of Muncie. I'm pretty sure I subscribed a long time ago. If you can give me, I am a subscriber. Been a subscriber to Dark Side of Muncie for a long time. About as long as you've had it. I love your work. I'm a former police officer, so I'm very familiar with a lot of these cases. So I'd like to talk to you about that. I cannot wait to talk to you. I'm so excited. I've been talking the last little bit about you for the last week or two. I've talked about a couple of your stuff. I've shared a couple of your shorts, and so I'm so excited. I'm really excited that you're on here. But all of this, I bring all of this up to say, for the first time, it feels like things are actually clicking for some people, and there is a movement. There is a movement that I feel that is building. And here's what I always have to caution people of. There are going to be disagreements within the movement. I I say this every so often, and it's a great time to tell you because we got a lot of newer people on here, and I've not said this in a while. I make you one guarantee. I make you only one promise. And the one promise that I make you is, beyond all shadow of all doubt, I will say something. I will do something. I will have a thought. I will have a hot take. I'll have a cold take. I'll just have a take. I will do or say or act or think about something in some way that will piss you off. You, right there. You will be watching someday. Might be tomorrow, might be next year, might be 10 years. Whenever it is, I will say something that will piss you off and that you won't like. You won't agree with me, and you'll be mad. Maybe you'll be mad. That's the only thing I promise, that will happen. I just ask you, when that happens, to be an adult. You are more than welcome, when that happens, to fire back at me and tell me I'm wrong. You can tell me why I'm wrong. We can debate it. The only thing I ask you is, don't say, well, he said that one thing that pissed me off, so I'm done, and leave like a child. If you want to stop watching for the episode, if you want to stop watching for a week, if you got to take some time off and unplug, I get it. But come back. Realize that we can have the same ideas. We can be on the same side. We can even be differing people. We can even be differing people. You can be a Democrat. I can be a conservative. But we can say we're tired of the bullshit that's going on and we want to change. And we can be connected. Like Audie Barber. One of my best friends is a Democrat. And he's a nut. And we disagree a lot. But we both see that there's a major issue and we're both working towards a change. And we both understand that in this fight, it takes all of us. Because before being Republicans, before being Libertarians, before being Democrats, before being Green Party or whatever, we are Americans. We're not an English American, a Black American. We are Americans. I respect you. I hope you respect me. And we're in the fight. And I'm not going to agree with everything you say. You're not going to agree with everything I say. But we have to keep the fight going. And I feel better now than I have in a long time about the fact that I think, first off, we are having major growths. We're having more views, more listens, more downloads across all of our platforms than we've ever had. We're having more people come aboard. We're having more people get involved, more people going to meetings, men, women. For a long time, it was a lot of women. That's hilarious, Nefarious. That's hilarious, Nefarious. Audie reached out to you. That's great. I love it. I guess that's who you're talking about. He reached out. Audie's a nut. He's a good guy, but he's a nut. I'll bring that up in just 1 second, Alva. I am going to get to that. But I just want people to know the reason that we're doing things is because we're right. And when I'm wrong, I will admit that I'm wrong. When we make a mistake, we admit that we make a mistake. But I'm just telling you, for the people that are out there, I'm very disappointed in a couple people today that contact me and tell me that they didn't like, they didn't like the last night's show, and they didn't think we should have done last night's show because they didn't like, they just don't like Catherine or they don't like Nicole. And I get it. That's fine. I'm not everybody's cup of tea. And I know Catherine and Nicole aren't. I know not everybody likes Kate. But the problem is that we say about like the local Republican Party, the state party, the national party, Republicans, Democrats alike, is that they don't welcome everybody in under the tent. There's enough room here for us all. And we do what is right. We are here to do what is right. And that's it. That's it. That's all there is. That's all I have to say tonight. Alva, you wanted to know about the emails. Hey, Space Cat. I thought about you the other day, Space Cat. We talked about Shower Boy. He did the community update, and he was waving, wiggling back and forth, carrying on. Thought he was going to pass out. And I forget when it was, but if you haven't went on the City of Muncie, okay, you saw it. Good. All right, good. I thought about you when he did that. That's funny. I'm glad you're here. You know who we haven't seen for a long time, and I eventually had to reach out to Karen because Karen went MIA for a couple months, and I reached out. I'm gonna have to reach out one of these days to what's that chick's name? Tweety Bird. Tweety Bird. I'm gonna have to reach out to Tweety Bird. Remember? I think they buried her with Charlie Kirk or something. That's the last time we saw her. I don't know what happened. That was weird. Anyways, so Alva's asking about the record request from last week. Let me go check my emails right now. In ending the show and getting ready to end the show, I did send out a couple of record requests last week to the City of Muncie. On Friday, June 5th, I sent the following email to the communications director of the City of Muncie and to Ass Wagley. And that email, well, hell, I'll show it to you. I don't know why I'm hiding it. I'll show you the email. The email looks like this. I've got to blow it up. That's the problem. Okay. I sent the following email to Ass Wagley and to Amber Green. I said, "Good afternoon, all." And I sent it to Amber, Shireen, and the acting mayor, Jeff Howe. So good afternoon, all. I've sent in a record request asking for any all professional services contracts between the city and acting mayor, recently appointed deputy mayor, and MRC director, George Jeff Howe. And while I'm certain this process could take the city weeks or months to comply, I'm hoping we can expedite the process and maybe get it done today or by Monday at the latest. Something like that. It shouldn't be a difficult task, as his first contract was from February 2024, and there could only be a couple of others for 2025 and 2026. And they should be readily available. Is this something we can do? Also, just an FYI, I'm going to submit a record request for all the invoices he's turned in since February of 2024. There should be a total of 29 invoices he's turned in, and that shouldn't be a long process. But I want to make sure these two requests are separate because there's no reason to hold the contract until the invoices are gathered. Just wanted to give you a heads up. Also, in an unrelated matter, I want to clear something up. Is Human Resources Director Patty Goddard still working for the city? Is she on vacation or some kind of leave? And that's what I sent. And I have not heard anything. They've not said my records are available, and they won't. It'll be forever before they comply. I'm assuming, I'm just going to safely say that they probably won't comply with me until after the 15th, whatever's going on the 15th. I've tried so many times for a couple of murder cases with the city of Muncie. They always say they don't have any records or they don't reply. I'm thinking about making a new email and trying. Hey. Yeah, this is great. I got ideas to tell you how to get around that. And I've got some thoughts to tell you some tricks. One of my areas of expertise is record request. I file so many with the city of Muncie. And also, you've got to get in good with the public access counselor, which is Jennifer Ruby. So that's some more stuff we can talk about. It's going to be great. I can't wait to talk again because we're going to help each other so great. Is the HR director going to come back on a contract like Shower Boy and Green Lantern? That's a very good question. I don't know because she's MIA. I will tell you, and I hate to hear this and I hate to think about this, but it is what it is. Carl Malone has been gone. He was out for several weeks because he too has been diagnosed with cancer. And it's sad and I hate it and it's a horrible situation, but he was diagnosed with cancer. He was out for treatment. I don't know if someone said it's also like prostate or colorectal or something like that. And so thoughts and prayers to him. He's been out. He had some surgery, but he is back at work. And so it sounds like the same thing right now is kind of going through, but he did it earlier. So I hate to hear that. It's a bad situation. And yeah, they, whether we like them politically or not, they deserve our thoughts and our prayers. So I wanted to say that, but I put that out there. I will tell you this. We've not got any emails back from Amber or Shireen or anybody, basically. So that happened. Now, the other thing that I want to say, I made a post the other day. We did the show, and I made the Facebook post the other day that said, the math ain't mathin' in Muncie. Something isn't adding up in Muncie City Hall. On February 15th, 2024, the city of Muncie entered into a professional services contract with George Jeffrey Howe after Mayor Dan Ridenour selected him to serve as the director of Muncie Redevelopment Commission, MRC, back on February 15th, 2024. The contract was set to run from February 15th, 2024 through December 31st, 2024, with Howe's compensation at $1,860 per month, starting in March of 2024. See the 7-page contract below. I'm reading my post. According to the contract, any renewal was supposed to go through the contract process, and any change in compensation would require a new contract to be drafted. And then by the way they do everything else and by the rules and the laws and the ordinances, they should have went to the Board of Works, and the Board of Works should have approved the new contract. So that's their rules. I didn't make it up. That's what they said. Okay. However, on May 29th, 2026, Mayor Ridenour appointed Howe as deputy mayor. It was then announced that the newly appointed deputy mayor, Howe, would be serving as acting mayor during Ridenour's medical leave. starting at midnight on June 1st, 2026, and lasting approximately 15 days. It has not been made clear what will happen after those 15 days, given the fact that Mayor Ridenour himself has repeatedly said he would be out for 6 to 8 months. 6 to 8 weeks. 6 to 8 weeks. He said he'd be out 6 to 8 weeks, 6 to 8 months. That's crazy. 6 to 8 weeks. Mayor Ridenour also said that Howell would remain in the role of MRC director and that he would not be compensated for his role as deputy or acting mayor. Because of all that was done in the last minute and the thing with Jeff Green and then this, because of everything that happened, okay, the political spotlight began to look into what was going on behind the scenes. And lo and behold, things did not add up. Here's what we found. City records indicate that MRC Director Howell was compensated at $1,860 per month from February through December 2024, as specified in the professional services contract dated February 15th, 2024. City records show an increase of $90 effective on January 2025. From January through December of 2025, MRC Director Howell was compensated at $1,950. That's that $90 increase. However, there has not been any announcement of the contract that it was revised or to reflect an increase, and no contract was ever presented to the Muncie Board of Works for consideration. City records reflect an increase of $119 effective January 2026. So every January, he keeps going up and up and up. So there's $195 on January 2026. From January through December of 2026, MRC Director Howell was compensated at $2,145 per month. Again, there was no announcement that the contract was revised to reflect this increase, and no contract was ever presented to the Muncie Board of Works for consideration. While this was a $195 increase from 2025, it's an overall increase of $285 from the original $1,860 in the original contract dated February 15th, 2024. City records indicate an increase of $1,000 then effective on June 26, 2026. MRC Director Howell was compensated $3,145 on June 5th, 2026. Again, there was no announcement that the contract was revised to reflect this increase, and no contract has ever been presented to the Muncie Board of Works for consideration. While this was a $1,000 increase from May of 2026 to June of 2026, it's an overall increase of $1,285 from the original $1,860 in the original contract dated February 15th, 2024. And then I have the payments, and I list them all below for the city council. And you'll hear why I say that here in a second. That's a nearly 70% jump in just 2 years with no communication that was happening. Like most everything else, there's zero communication, zero transparency, and zero accountability. The question is simple. Where are the contracts authorizing these increases? More importantly, who knew about them, and which government body reviewed and voted on them? I filed public record requests for all contract renewals, amendments, and replacements agreements that would have explained these increases. As of today's date, I have not received those records. What makes this even more interesting is the timing. As I've stated, on May 29th, Howell was appointed a deputy director. Then on June 1st, 2026, he became acting mayor while remaining the MRC director. Meanwhile, Howell's compensation increased by another $1,000 per month. Maybe there's a legitimate explanation. If so, the city needs to explain it and not drag its feet. Taxpayers deserve answers about who approved this increase, when, and under what authority. We will keep digging. As always, stay tuned. Well, I provided that to the Muncie City Council so they could be aware of all of that as well, as they should be. They should be in charge of all of that information. Even if they're not involved with it, they should have an understanding, because first off, they're the checks and balances to Ridenhour. And most importantly, they are the legislative body, the fiscal body, and this is the representative body. That this is their job. This is their duty. They need to be keeping up on this stuff. This is very important, and this is what they are expected to do. We, the people, expect this. Okay, so I sent that to them, and I kind of thought, well, maybe they'll say something. Maybe somebody won't. I don't know what'll happen. So I sent that to them on Friday, and I received the following. Macintosh says, "Thank you so much, Mr. Bilbrey. I will be looking into this." So I appreciate his response. Sarah Gullion says, "Interesting information, Kristopher. Thank you for sharing. I'm certain some of us will more look into this. I don't know what that means. It's kind of strange. I don't know why that's her response, but she says, interesting information, Kristopher. Thank you for sharing. I'm certain some of us will more, I don't know if she's saying more than likely look into this, but I appreciate her response. So she sent that back. Now, the last thing that I want to say in this, while we're talking about the council people responding or not responding or doing whatever they do, along with that, but separate, I also sent in emails to Jeff and to Dale, to Jeff Green and to Dale Basham. And I sent those because they are the president and the vice president. And this is what this looks like. I sent and said, this was sent on June 4th, 2026. So it was sent 3 days after last week's council meeting. Council President Green, Council Pro Tem Basham, I am following up on Monday's meeting to confirm whether the Public Service Committee meeting is to discuss Ordinance 9-26 has been scheduled. If so, what is the date and time of that meeting? I assume it will be in the council chambers, correct? If it has not been scheduled, do you know when that might happen? Please don't feel free to respond. Please treat this as something you must respond to. I don't want you to feel free to do it. I want you to absolutely respond because you don't have a choice. You must respond. Good Lord. Thank you in advance for this most basic level of communication, which is part of your duty. Well, guess what? They have not responded. Neither one of them have responded. Period. So that was sent on the 4th. All right. So on the 6th, Saturday the 6th, I sent just following up email number 2. Okay. They apparently didn't get that one either. So then last night or early morning today, I sent just following up email number 3. So I'm going to continue sending that every 2 days until they either respond or I go to the meeting next month in July. And if I take in 15 some emails where I put just following up, and they have neither one responded, I am going to blow my stack. No one's going to get hurt. That's figuratively speaking. I'm just going to be mad. I'll probably yell. That's what's going to happen. So just FYI, don't come put me in the loony bin or arrest me or something. I'm not going to hurt anybody. So that's what that is. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is an example of having to follow up, having to make the paper trail, and having to be able to prove what you say, what you do in this fight. Okay. That's how we do. That's basically what I did with the thing with Jessica. Okay. And that's what I'm going to continue doing, because that's the only thing that we can do. So that's going to do it for us tonight, ladies and gentlemen. I want to thank you guys for tuning in. Remember, we do it here. We do it. We do what we do because it's right. That's the only thing that we can do. Okay. And we're going to continue doing that, God willing, and we'll push back. We need your help. We would love your help. Some of the ways that you can help are very simple. Go to meetings, share the meetings, email these officials, ask questions. Above all else, share the show with everyone you know. Help spread the word, okay? You can find all of our stuff here. You can hit that thing. You can do any of this. All of that's good. If you could do that, that would be fantastic. You can like, subscribe, click, do all of that stuff. I want to thank you all. If you are a new viewer, thank you for stopping in. If you're watching on Facebook, Twitter, wherever, thank you, thank you, thank you. Facebook is there, YouTube is the best way to watch, but we'll take you however we can get you. I want to thank you guys. You guys take care. Have a good evening. For Nefarious, I'll send you my number. We can connect sometime tomorrow, whenever works for you. And the rest of you, we'll see you back here tomorrow evening at 9 p.m., where we'll have a regular show. You guys take care. Good night and goodbye.